Welcome, welcome very, very much. It's a pleasure to welcome to the program Lorraine Gibney. She's a person of real considerable interest in a lot of different things, very interesting things. It's going to be an interesting conversation. And Lorraine, welcome so very, very much to Conversations and to Manhattan Neighborhood Network. Okay?
Thank you.
Share with us a little bit, if you would. We're born and raised, that kind of thing.
Okay, I
was and then I think we've got a lot that we can talk about.
Yes.
Having had some preliminary conversation. What's your story, Lorraine?
Okay. I was born and raised in the village, the West Village.
Mm-hmm.
I come from 5 generations in the West Village.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
But I was born on 22nd Street.
Okay.
And my family moved to West New York and Jersey. But for the most part, most of my family remained in New York.
Okay.
I was a teacher for a number of years.
Really? Did you go to college? And all
yes,
that,
I did.
Did you study education or became a teacher?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay.
I went to Jersey City State College.
Okay, yeah.
I actually started the writing group at Jersey City
Good
State
for
College.
you. Good, yeah.
I interviewed many writers,
Uh-huh.
such as John Updike,
Wow.
Joyce Carol Oates,
Wow.
James Baldwin, Gloria Steinem, Robin Morgan.
Yeah, but didn't you know anybody that was well known? That's a joke, then. That's a joke.
Yeah,
that
well,
was.
I
You
was
interviewed
always
them for a journal.
for the
or
paper,
something?
yeah.
For the
papers.
paper. Good for you. Yeah. Those are major voices right there.
I was always interested in
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah.
I also did many programs at the college for poetry,
Yeah.
which I later did in my life later on.
Mm-hmm.
For 22 years, I run the Jefferson Market Poetry Group on
Oh,
10th
wonder,
and
yeah.
Avenue of the Americas.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good deal. Yeah.
And I come to the city. I mean, it's like I live in a city more than I do in Jersey.
Yeah.
I just live there.
You live in Jersey?
I
or
live in Jersey.
But yeah, well,
But
it's
I'm
a short,
always in Manhattan.
Yeah, and it's just a short commute.
Right.
How do you get there? I
say-
mean, how do you get to Manhattan
Okay,
from where
well,
you live?
I go to 42nd Street, and there's like a little bus.
42nd Street in Manhattan.
Yes.
You are. Yeah.
And from there, it leaves me on Boulevard East where I live, and it's right down the block from my
Oh,
house.
really? So it's
Yeah.
a pretty easy
Yeah,
commute.
it's very quick.
How long does it take to get from your door?
I'd say like
from your
25
house?
minutes.
25 minutes, you're in Manhattan.
Right.
Well, that's like an easy commute, right?
Yeah,
And you're in the arts, and so
Yes, I am.
writing and that. Do you write?
I do write.
Yeah. Huh? Have you written poetry? Have you
Yes, I
written
wrote
books?
2 books.
You did. Could you tell?
I wrote 2 books.
Yeah.
Plus, we did about, I think there's about 5 for Jefferson Market. Every year,
Yeah.
the group that frequents Jefferson Market Poetry Group.
It's an institution.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's been around for 50 years.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we used to shop there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, that's something different. It was a market. No, this is when it was a library.
Oh, okay. I'm off base. Okay, sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I know that that part of town is really interesting. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so you want me to tell my story?
Yeah, please.
Okay. In about 2007, okay, pretty much I ran a group called Moonfire, which was significantly paranormal. We had a lot of speakers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think primarily I did that because I was curious about it. I never really believed in it, okay, because my background was I actually taught science for a little while.
Yeah.
I considered, before I became an English teacher, of being a science teacher, but I hated the math. So,
Yeah.
but my friend Sonia and I, who I know for many, many years,
Yeah.
we were walking around the city, and we came across this one place. It was a store. It's called Bazaar. It's at 125 West 3rd Street.
Right.
It's
right.
diagonal to the Washington Diner.
Okay.
And
yeah.
also,
yeah.
and also Swan Park, which was where Eugene O'Neill used to frequent when it was a
Wow.
bar called the Hellhole.
Right. Right.
Anyway, also Lincoln went there.
Uh huh.
Anyway,
Lincoln, the president.
that's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
He was friends with Edwin Booth.
Uh huh. Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
anyway, so I mean, I've always been interested in
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
So I'm a very
Lot of
factual,
it, yeah.
I'm a very factual kind of person.
Yeah.
Anyway, my friend Sonia and I, were walking around the city, and we went to 125 West 3rd Street. And at the time, we went into this building, and it was called Bazaar. Now, I thought it was very strange because it hadn't been Bazaar since I went to high school, and that was
Yeah.
like in the 80s. So, but it didn't matter. But before we walked into the store, there was it was like a buoy, and on the buoy was a picture of Ronald Reagan. Now, at the time, Sonia and I were engaged.
I don't understand. I'm not sure. Buoy. I don't know.
It's like it was like a plastic thing,
Yeah.
and there was a round part on the bottom, so that when you pushed it, it would come back.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
and there was a picture of Reagan on it. Anyway,
Oh.
so
Is that called a buoy?
it's called a buoy.
Buoy is something with a ship or something.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway,
okay, go
well,
ahead.
they put them in the water.
Yeah, okay,
Anyway,
right, okay, right.
So Sonia and I went into the store,
Uh-huh.
and I was a little surprised because, like I had said to you, in the '80s, I was in this store, but it was gone for like the last 10 years. Anyway, so Sonia and I walked in. We walked around. The store bazaar had like candles and incense and masks and stuff like that. But we were like engaged in talking, and we were walking around. I didn't buy anything. I don't know if she bought anything. I don't remember her buying anything. Anyway, we were there for like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We walked out, and we proceeded to walk around the city. I think we even went to the park because it's very close. So when we were done, after like maybe 40 minutes, she went to the east side where she lived,
Yeah.
and I went back to Jersey.
Right, okay. And?
So, and that was the end of
Yeah,
the day.
right,
Okay. The next day,
The very next
the
day.
very next day, I went to my friend Alice's house because I helped her clean because she was an older woman.
Yeah,
and
thank
she
you.
was also a writer.
Yeah.
So I went there and I was going to fix her closet.
Yeah.
Okay, because what I did was, I would bring a drill and I would fix up
Are
the
you
closet.
handy that way?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, good for you.
So, well, I'm artistic. So, okay, so the next day I went to Alice's house. I did what I was going to do, and I said to her, I have a great idea. I'm going to get some wooden boxes,
Yeah.
and I'm going to put them on top of the closet.
Uh-huh.
And so you could put your,
Yeah,
stuff
little
in that way.
Cabinets,
right.
yeah.
Okay, so she gave me the money. I went back to 3rd Street, and when I went there, to look for the bazaar, the store was completely gone.
Whoa. How can a store go away?
I don't know, okay? All I know is when I went to the store, there was a man standing outside smoking a cigarette in front of the empty building.
This is on the second day, or?
This is the second day.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't want to sound like a
But you
total.
said the store was gone.
The store was completely empty.
Oh, empty. Oh, I
Empty.
see. Okay, yeah.
It was completely empty. So I said to the man, I said, it's really weird. I said, this store has been empty for quite a while.
Excuse me. Go ahead.
I said, this store has been empty for quite a while. Because I didn't want to say that I was in the store because it would sound really nuts. So he said to me, yeah, he goes, there has not been anything here for the last 10 years.
Whoa. And you had been there the day before.
So I called up my friend Sonia, and I said, Sonia, I said, listen, I said, I'm in front of the store that we were at Bazaar,
Yeah.
and it's completely empty.
And she'd been there with you.
Yeah, and she said to me, she goes, what do you mean it's empty?
Yeah,
and
right.
I said, it's empty. And she just goes, get out of here. She goes,
Did
maybe
she ask
you're
you
wrong.
what you were drinking? or
Yeah,
something?
she said to
something
me,
like that.
where,
Yeah.
maybe you're on the wrong street. I
Yeah,
said, no,
yeah,
I'm not on the
yeah.
wrong street.
Right.
So pretty much a couple of days later or whatever, she came to the same place and we stood there and we couldn't believe that it was completely empty. And, I don't know what to become of that because I don't know. My experience is just really bizarre. I mean,
Well, that is bizarre, right in the fact.
Right.
So, have you got that all figured out? What happened?
I really don't know
Does it
what
still
happened.
remain a mystery?
It's a very big mystery.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. From my research,
Yeah.
I've learned a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, first of
You
all,
become interested in the
I
concept
have,
of
yes,
mystery.
exactly.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
3rd Street,
Yeah.
that was not the original name. Okay, 3rd Street, it was not.
What
it
was
was
it, do you know?
actually named Amity.
Amity.
Right, and also that entire block
Yeah.
is known for being the most haunted block in all of Greenwich Village.
The haunted block of
That's
Greenwich
correct.
Village. That could be a novel.
Right. That is the most haunted place. It was also one of the most lively places in the 60s and in the 20s. In the 20s, on Washington Street,
Yeah.
okay, actually Washington Diner,
Yeah. Yeah, right.
right on
okay, yeah.
4th Street.
Right.
Okay, that building
Yeah.
right there on the corner,
Yeah.
okay, which is now a park.
Uh-huh.
Eugene O'Neill used to hang in there. It was called the Hellhole.
Wow.
Moreover,
Yeah.
that particular place, there was supposed to be a cave. There's a cave. It's the largest cave in North America.
Really? I had a friend who had a thing where there was a thing underground where it would become a place for music and poetry reading and stuff like that.
Oh,
it was
I'm
a
not
cave.
sure. Yeah, it was a cave.
It was like
yes.
a cave down there. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how old it is or how
Yeah.
long it's been open,
Yeah.
but I've learned a lot of things. Presently on 125 West 3rd Street, there is a Brickman.
What's Brickman?
It's called the Brickman Hardware. It's
Oh,
called,
a store. Yeah.
It's called Brickman Ace Hardware.
Okay, right.
I tried to learn a little bit more about
Yeah.
the building.
I would think so.
Right. On the top of the building, it says Vito, what is it? Frank Vito, or Frank Vitoli.
I'm trying to put all this together
Yeah.
in my mind. It's
His
a little
name was
tricky.
Frank
Yeah.
Vitoli,
Yeah.
and then I learned later on they didn't put his last name because it was associated with the mob. His name was Frank Vitoli Genovese.
Genovese, yeah, right.
Right.
Wow. Now, how do you put this all together in your own mind?
You know,
Or are you still? It's
I'm
still a
still puzzled.
conundrum.
It's
a
still a
conundrum,
conundrum, right.
And you're interested in that.
Yes,
kind.
I am.
You're interested in those kind of things.
Yes, I
aren't you?
am.
Yeah, right.
As a
yeah.
consequence of
Yeah.
that, I've really developed a tenacity for that area. I'm very, very curious as to what went on
Or that
Harmony
are
Street.
you interested in that kind of thing that kind of thing has gone on in many places around the world? Are you interested in the phenomenon?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I am.
But from
I'm
your own experience, it's
more
particularly
so-
strong. Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
more so
Figures.
in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
I'm very interested. Just the whole concept of Manhattan. I mean, Manhattan was built on a holy site. It
Was it
called,
really?
Yes,
Oh.
it was the Mahata Indians.
Really?
And yes,
Is that
and
where
they
the
were-
name comes from?
That's correct.
I've never.
And it
thought
was
of-
the
Did
only,
you hear that,
and they
gang?
were the
That's
only
interesting.
group of
Yeah,
Indians
yeah.
that were albino.
Wow.
Okay, the Lenape Indians were the only albino Indians.
Yeah, you've researched all of this.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Okay. Really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what happens? What happened about? How did it all come out? Is it still being investigated?
It's still something that I'm learning about.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had several strange kind of things happen to me.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, I'm a more scientific kind of person.
Yeah.
But it happened to me.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, it didn't only happen to me. If it happened to me, I would probably say, oh, I don't know what. Maybe I'm losing it or whatever. But the fact that it happened with somebody who is also a teacher, and you're talking about educated people.
You didn't mess around with LSD
No,
or
I
anything?
did not.
No mind inhibiting.
No, I mean,
okay.
I drank when I was younger, but I
Yeah,
mean, not
yeah.
really. I don't drink at all.
You have an Irish background.
Yes, I do.
I think they like beer.
Yeah. Oh, no, my
Yeah.
father liked beer a lot. A little bit too
Yeah,
much.
Right. No.
So, but
No.
yeah, I mean, I'm very interested.
But you've become interested in
Yeah.
I don't want to say occult, but
Well, that's what it
interested
is,
in the
paranormal.
mysterious parts of the existence of the
Well,
human condition that ought to be given some
paranormal.
understanding. Paranormal, that's
well,
the
see,
term.
I
yeah.
believe that paranormal is human beings contain something other than just the ordinary. And I know you disagree with me, but I
Well, I
do
don't know
believe,
necessarily, but spell it out. Yeah.
Well, I do think there's something that animates us. I don't think that,
Uh-huh.
in other words, if you take a human being.
Life force.
Yeah, a life force,
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Something animates us.
Yeah.
Something puts
Does,
everything together.
does something animate a gazelle or a
Yeah,
kangaroo?
anything,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Anything that
Yeah, okay,
is
yeah.
living.
Life force.
Right.
Yeah. Life's a first
Yes.
term. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's say that does exist. There's a lot of evidence because there's kangaroos jumping all over the place and people,
Well-
lots of people, all with some sort of a
Right.
animating force.
But
So
it's
we
more
ought to
than
try
that,
to
though.
understand what's going on here.
Yeah,
right?
but see, it's
Yeah.
more than that. Okay. Human
Particularly the
beings-
mysterious part.
Right. But see, human beings,
Yeah.
okay, from a scientific level,
Yeah.
human beings contain every single one of the elements.
What does that mean?
Okay, do you know the elemental chart?
Yeah, I know, I do, but I've
Human
forgotten.
beings,
Yeah.
every single one of those elemental charts.
How many are there?
can be
90 odd
found-
or something?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
offhand.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But every single one of them can be found in human beings.
Can they all be found in an elephant?
I would imagine, yeah, because it's a
Yeah.
living thing.
Okay, and a living thing. Okay,
Yeah.
well that's interesting. That's all good. And these
Right.
are things you're very interested in. And
Yes,
you've
I
also
am.
got we were talking before, and it was really interesting the questions you were putting forth and everything.
Right.
You got a real interest in a whole lot of things
Oh,
on this
absolutely,
planet. Yeah,
yes.
right. And a lot of the mysteries.
Well,
Or they're called
yeah, but see,
mysteries.
I think life, you
Yeah.
have to retain
Yeah.
that magic.
Yeah.
See, I think
Yeah,
human
okay.
beings
Yeah.
cease to be when they lose the magic.
Right.
There's, I mean, whatever you want to call it, whether you want to call it science, whether you want to call it religion,
Epiphany.
whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But there has to be something that motivates you, a purpose.
Okay, that's interesting. It would be pretty animating of
Yeah.
someone if they have a purpose.
Right.
Do you
But I
think
think-
there are people who would just say, oh, you haven't got any particular purpose to
Well,
get
yeah.
a meal and
But
eat?
whether or
and
not you know your purpose
Yeah.
is not really
you
the
don't think
matter.
that's important? If people have a sense of purpose, or
I think everyone has a purpose.
what about not necessarily, excuse me, a purpose, but an understanding of the otherwise occult things that are beyond understanding, but have an interest in what's it all about, Alfie kind of thing, about the world.
Well, I think everyone, okay, regardless, has a niche in life, okay?
Yeah.
For me, I mean, the arts have always been my
Okay,
motivating
yeah.
force. It animates you.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah.
It creates togetherness with
Yeah,
other people
Right. Yeah.
of like minds.
Uh-huh.
And that's important to me.
That's camaraderie. There
Right.
is that, and
Right.
that.
Yeah,
but
but see-
it's a big subject. Yeah.
Right. But see,
Are you spiritual?
Yes, absolutely.
You are. Could you spell out? Could you go along that line, talking for a while?
Sure.
The idea or the concept of
I definitely am a
spiritual,
spiritual person.
transcendent
Right.
things that are beyond the normal.
Well, I feel like I'm very spiritual in that as a school teacher,
Yeah,
okay, for many years.
Yeah.
I feel like knowledge is here, but see, in order to also convey knowledge,
Yeah.
you have to have a love for it. Okay, the
love
difference.
for the
a love for
knowledge?
whatever your.
Is it the understanding of the knowledge, or the not the the understanding? No, the knowledge gives understanding of what's.
It's more than that.
Okay.
See, I believe.
You know it. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, as a school teacher,
Yeah,
okay, I love English. I love to write. Okay, I love being around children that want to learn.
What age are you talking about?
I have high
teaching?
school kids.
High school.
Okay,
Oh, okay. There's
but
a lot of energy there. Yeah.
Some people have a lot of knowledge,
Yeah.
but they don't have spirit.
Spirit. Well, okay. Spirit. What do we mean by spirit, or?
Spirit means you're
vim and
able
vigor,
to
or what?
vigor, vibe.
Yeah.
You're able to connect to another human being.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever met a
Purpose?
person?
Is it around purpose?
I think
The
it's
sense
all
of
related. Yes.
Yeah.
Purpose.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But see, there are people who have a lot of knowledge,
Yeah.
but they don't have the vibe. They're not connecting.
Yeah.
They're just spewing
What
information.
what do you think the percentages are in terms of the people that do have a sense of purpose or a vibe, as you say, or
You
vibe?
know it.
No, I mean, and population in general.
Well,
We got what? How many we got? So many people in the world
Right.
now. How many of them do you
Okay,
think
I'll ask you a
are
personal
endowed
question.
with that question? Go ahead, ask me a personal
Personal
question. But let
question.
me get seated in my chair.
okay.
Better
Have you
more
ever
so.
been
Have
in
I
a
ever?
place? Have you ever been to a place where somebody walks into the room and they light the whole room up?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
right.
Okay,
That's like a vibe. It's called.
that's right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a vibe. It's
They gotta-
spirituality.
yeah. You think that's spiritual?
Oh, absolutely, I
Why
do.
does it have to be spiritual?
Because it is.
Oh, okay.
Because
well,
it's
that's
not something that you could buy. It's not something you can learn. It's something you either have or you don't have.
You have or you haven't.
It's something innate.
Style. There's a song about
No,
like
it's
that.
innate. Whether or not you call it somebody has
How
it
is it that-
heredity,
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a very interesting topic. You know, if somebody has an abiding interest in something that they're very engaged in, and there's a sense of purpose and fulfilling a purpose and satisfaction at what one's about and so forth, they might likely have more vibe
Right.
than if they've been put in a dungeon. Or
Right.
something.
Now, see,
you know,
bringing it back to what I was
yeah,
talking about
yeah,
before.
okay.
Okay. Because the village is so vital.
Yeah.
And it's like the heart.
Yeah.
Okay. It's streets. Okay. You had Edgar Allan Poe. You had Eugene
Once
O'Neill.
upon a midnight dreary.
You had, Edgar Allan Poe, you had Eugene O'Neill, you had all the greatest writers that ever lived.
Down there, yeah.
Okay, why is it that they all migrate to one place?
Thule Kupferberg was down that way.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but
the Fugs, the greatest music ever made.
Oh,
you know,
all right.
Bobby Dylan was
Bob
down
Dylan,
that part
yeah.
of town.
But that's
Joan
what I mean.
Baez and a whole lot of people.
right,
Yeah.
Dylan,
Yeah.
Joan
Those are-
Baez.
yeah.
But see, there's a reason why they migrate to there.
Yeah. What is it that?
Well,
a
to
place
me, it's
has
spirituality.
A vibe. They use
Right.
terms like vibe.
Right,
and that
vibe.
kind of stuff.
It's
Yeah.
spirituality.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a certain, when you die,
Yeah.
although you die, you're dead, your body,
Mm-hmm.
I believe your essence stays there.
I don't understand that. What do you mean? Essence stayed in the place where you
Correct.
had walked, the room
As a
you had
matter of
walked
fact,
into will
right.
keep that vibe that you brought to
Right.
it.
Yes.
And it enlivens the place.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, in science.
Lenny Bruce.
That's right, Lenny Bruce.
He got in trouble for being vibing.
That's right.
Yeah.
In science,
Vibing
they
can be
call it,
very-
in science, there are some psychics, I know you don't believe in psychics, but
That's not true. There's
Okay,
psychics who can
there are
read all
people-
kinds of things.
there
yeah.
are people who use what is called psychometry.
I don't know what that term
Okay,
is. Yeah.
psychometry is
Yeah.
when the essence of a person, for example, my shirt,
Yeah.
if I die, my shirt still remains a part of me. In other words, there's an essence to my shirt. Part of who I am remains on the things that you touch.
Okay, I'm trying to understand. I don't
Okay,
quite.
that's called psychometry.
Oh, it's a term I've never heard.
Okay,
yeah.
well, I believe that where I went, 125 West 3rd Street.
Yeah, when that thing disappeared.
That's right.
How do you deal with that conundrum now?
I don't know how to.
You don't
to
know
me,
what to do with
it.
it.
Was
Yeah,
a happening.
right, right,
it happened.
right.
I don't know if I'll ever understand why that happened.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this.
Uh-huh.
I believe that area has a certain kind of psychometry. There's a
Psychometry
that's
is another
right.
term that's
It's
a
a
little
certain
hard for
kind
me
of
to-
energy.
Energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, that energy can be beneficial, but it can also be negative.
Uh-huh.
Okay, which is why you have some people who are artists
Yeah.
and singers and whatever, lecturers, whatever, that gravitate to that area. But you also have the other side where you have drug addicts and, all prostitutes and stuff. Why? Because I believe that energy heightens the experience.
Yeah, and it migrates around town.
That's right.
It'll be there for 1 year, and the next
No.
year it's somewhere.
Well, I believe
no,
it'll
it
be there
stays there.
stay there.
You
right.
stay there, right?
Yes.
How many of those energy centers are there around, let's say, Manhattan?
Oh, I think many places.
I would think, yeah.
I think many
Manhattan's
places.
got a vibe that really
And I mean,
is
it's not, to me, it's
resonating
not.
out to Mars, I think.
I mean, to me, it's not a coincidence that underneath Manhattan Island you have bedrock. Okay, but not
Yeah.
only that, Central Park has the biggest crystal beds in all the world.
I don't know what a crystal bed is. That piece of geology or
Well,
something?
yeah, it's a piece
Yeah.
of geology,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
crystal.
Uh-huh.
And of course, I don't know if you know about metallurgy or anything like that.
Not very
but-
much. You know.
Well, the crystals,
Yeah.
okay, crystals heighten emotions,
Okay.
and they contain them. They're like a library.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, many ancient cultures actually use crystals. The Mexicans did, the Egyptians did.
Uh-huh.
Okay, because the crystal, as a matter of fact, our communication system is based on crystal. It's called piezoelectricity.
I don't know. I've never heard that term. What does piezo mean?
Piezo comes from crystals.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
From some Latin word or
Yeah,
something? Yeah.
it's Greek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Greek. Okay, yeah. Well, that's interesting. Yeah.
So I believe that things like that happen or experience. I mean, people, not only I, like I said to you before, 3rd Street is very, very haunted. Okay?
Haunted.
Haunted. Now, I don't know if you believe that or not, but
Well, you could suppose you say haunted or enchanted.
well,
There's two different
I think
vibes,
they're
right?
I think they're
They're two
kind of
different-
like
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that people
haunted
are
predicts is
Well,
like
see,
Halloween and
well, no.
Mel Violence.
People have had many experiences
Yeah.
on 3rd Street. No, they
I
have.
think that's probably true. Yeah.
They
right,
have.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's kind of ironic that they even changed the street name. I mean, it
Have
was-
they done it?
Yes,
Changed
they
it?
did. The original name was Amity.
Amity, really?
Right.
What is it now?
Now it's West 3rd.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I
Right,
didn't realize
so-
that. Yeah.
There's a lot of there's a lot of stuff that they changed, and I think there's a reason for that. I mean, and also, I mean, the fact that, you know, Gigante and Genevieve's crime family, you know, we're not told any of that history.
That crime thing is a turn on to a lot of people.
Well, not for me. Well,
no, me either. But it is the act that it's
Right.
there. It's interesting because it's outside of the ordinary, maybe.
Right.
Something outside of the ordinary.
Right.
Also, the idea of stellar
Right.
talent in some sort of art form or something stands out. Something outside of the norm.
Well, don't you think it's kind of ironic that generation after generation after generation, I mean, way back since like 1920s, that the same kind of people are gravitating to the same area over and over and over again?
Are you talking about that second area of Manhattan?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about gravitated to New York?
Well, not even New York. I'm talking about the West Village.
West
talking about-
Village. Well,
I mean,
okay.
the majority
That's
of-
putting it down to a certain area, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Well,
I
that's
mean,
part of the charm.
right, but see, you could take
But there are
that.
other parts of New York that
Right.
have a charm of their own.
But that's right.
Yeah.
But see, they're
Yeah.
a very, you know, isolated area. In other words, if you go to Wall Street, you're not going to find good music. Okay,
That's
you're going to
probably
find
true.
people with the banking system.
Yeah, and there'd be working numbers.
Right,
Always, yeah.
but isn't it ironic that if you go back to the 1900s, okay, with J.P. Morgan and all these people, that all of them gravitated to
Tycoon.
that, right?
Yeah.
That they gravitated to that area.
How do we explain that? How do
Well,
we gravitate
to me, that's
to where
spirituality.
people? You think that's spiritual?
Yes, I do.
Uh-huh.
That's
It's
beyond the physical.
Likes attract one another or something, or people do.
Right, but you leave a part of yourself.
Now, what about a thing like Times Square as a charm or something of its own? That's where we celebrate New Year's and all this kind
Right.
of stuff.
But-
Or other parts of town.
Right, well, the same thing. All those areas are, well, see, Times Square has changed significantly.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we know that the people who migrated to Times Square were not the most, uncanny, they were uncanny people.
Uncanny.
Right. I mean, you had all
What do you
the
mean?
brothels. You had all the brothels. You had
Oh, I wouldn't know about that. I haven't thought about that. I was thinking about all the theater people and all the people.
Right. Yeah,
give
but
my
see-
regards to Broadway.
Right, but see, what you're failing to understand,
we don't
though,
say give my regards to Amity.
Yeah,
we
but-
do it to Broadway. And
but they started out as burlesque.
well,
houses.
okay, that's part of the scene too. Okay, yeah.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that these areas are these areas for a reason. They have a history. But see, beyond history, there is an essence attached to it. See, when you
Okay, that's interesting.
Okay,
yeah. That could have a wider exploitation of other parts of the world other
Right.
than Manhattan or New
see
York.
who
yeah.
you are, you leave behind your essence.
I
whether you
don't-
like that
now
or
you're
not.
talking into language that gets a little hard. Leave behind your essence. If you have a
Correct.
certain perfume or something. You
Well,
would,
no. I believe that everything, like for example, I
Yeah.
touch this cup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My essence touches this cup.
Yeah.
Okay. That's called, okay, like I was saying, psychometry.
Psychometry is a
Right.
word I've not heard, but
Right. Well,
yeah.
psychometry is that your essence, your being, you leave a print.
Well, go on. Yeah,
Okay.
spell it out. Yeah.
You leave a print on society when you leave.
Okay, I guess that's true. Yeah, right.
Okay. Everybody does.
Yeah. Some more intense
Right.
than others.
And usually
And more
when a person,
lasting, yeah.
right, and usually a person who is sensitive,
Yeah.
which usually it's the people who are poets and dancers and writers, okay, these individuals, when they vacate to these areas, they pick up that essence.
You think that's interesting? That really is interesting. How do we account for the extraordinary
Well,
achievements in the
Right.
arts or so? How about the extraordinary achievements in everyday life with normal citizens, say in Grand Rapids, Michigan, or
Well,
somewhere else? Or,
if you look at somebody
or around
like-
the world, apply the principles to a larger metaphor for the human condition.
well, according
rather
to
than just-
Aristotle,
yeah,
according to
yeah.
Aristotle,
he was pretty good. yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Aristotle claimed that everything is an imitation.
Well, spell
Okay.
it out if you can.
All right.
Yeah.
According to Aristotle, anything a human being can devise in their head or create has been done before. Okay, all they're doing is they're tuning in to that wave, that thought wave. Like, why is it so odd that two people? I'll give you an example.
You do.
When Marconi made the radio,
Yeah.
okay, not too far away, another person said, "Oh no, you didn't do the radio. You didn't create the radio. I did." Okay. As a matter of fact, there's a
that's competition or
no. See, I believe that's
envy or
no. See, human beings are just a radio tuner. Okay.
Well, there's a couple of other things more than that. That could be
Thoughts.
a robot walking around.
Thoughts are up here.
Yeah.
Okay. Energy is up here. Okay. Human beings are just the transistor. Okay. We get that energy.
Is that like the ether or
yes.
something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what its term is?
Yes.
Relevant?
That's what I believe.
That's what they used to put people to sleep.
What do you mean?
Ether. Isn't that a thing that it's a
no,
thing
that's something different.
But it's pronounced the same?
No. The ethereal.
Oh, the ethereal and ether.
Right.
Okay.
Ether is.
I just got confused.
Ether is gas.
Yeah.
The ethereal is that which you can't really touch.
Yeah.
It's there, but you can't see it.
I thought you did it as a noun, but okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's all kinds of things. So you're a spiritually minded person.
Yes, I absolutely am.
And you have great faith in the importance of that and so forth. And it's got a lot of implications that are being overlooked by a good deal of the human experience.
Right.
Now. We should have
Well, see, I don't think they do overlook it. I just think it's not a priority. And as a matter of fact, I think they don't make it a priority because a person who is spiritual cannot necessarily be conned into believing or controlled. Okay? I think when you are spiritual, okay, you can't be controlled because...
You don't think the spirituality or the spiritual connection is a controlling mechanism for the individual?
I think it can be, and it has
rationale
been. I think
or
it can.
my God's better than yours or something. A lot of that's been going on.
Well, I think it has been, and it has been used. I mean, you look at the Crusaders.
Yeah.
You do look at stuff like that. You look at, Protestants and Catholics and their history.
My God, yes, you got some Irish background.
That's
been a lot of that going on. If I'm
yeah,
not
we were
mistaken.
enemies. We wouldn't even be sitting in the same room.
Yeah, well, that's but anyway, that's a thing we're talking about. Yeah,
right. But that's
because
what I'm
we're trying to
saying.
get down to some understanding of what it's all about, Alfie. That kind of question comes up. And you got this idea of these things that are going on at another level.
Oh, I definitely do.
That is sort of new for me to understand.
Right.
And I think probably a lot of people watching.
Right.
And it's important, and a lot of major figures in our artistic and in our general intellectual history have paid attention to it very readily.
The very people that you're saying that don't believe in this, that are materialists, okay, they do the very thing that I'm talking about behind closed doors. I mean, is it no coincidence that these same people who say this is all, BS, are the same people who behind closed doors are into Masonic cults? And they're into the Illuminati and all this other stuff. In other words, look, the bottom line is I believe that people need something to believe in, something other than materialism.
That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's where you've had a lot of these spiritual things have come and filled that void. Yeah.
Right.
But it still may be just made up.
It could be.
I mean, it's one thing to say it does exist in reality, or another is that it's out of the...
Yeah, but is it made up?
It's out of the whole fabric of thought and just dreamed up by people.
Yeah, but is it made up, or is it that our tools aren't, like I'll give you an example.
We're not attuned
right, exactly.
We're not attuned
our
to
tools,
these realities.
For example, when you're in a hospital, and if the doctor takes his stethoscope and he puts it on your heart and says, okay, you're dead. Okay, what do? They put the sheet over him, and they said he's dead. But
well, don't you have any say in that when they did it? If you're under the sheet, I mean, they got what? I don't know.
No, but maybe
from the standpoint of the person whose heart is being tested.
Possibly.
Wait a minute. I think maybe it's a little premature to bring out the shovels to make the grave.
But possibly.
I'm still here. You could do something.
Yeah, but possibly.
That would be a materialistic
possibly
thing.
sometime in the future from now, we'll realize that the stethoscope was inaccurate. Okay,
Could
and
be,
possibly.
yeah. And certainly, if you go back through history, there's probably a lot.
There's a lot of cases like
yeah,
that,
a lot of
isn't there?
cases of not being able to have the ability to understand things in
That's right.
a more advanced way.
So
you think the ability to understand things in a more advanced way, scientifically and so forth, is helping us understand things without having to resort to things that insist upon mystery?
Right. As a matter of fact, talk about in everyday life.
Yeah.
I don't recall his name, but there was a very famous case of a doctor who created a scale, whereby
weighing things?
Right, of weighing things. And what he did was he weighed a person who was alive and a person who was dead. Okay?
Wow.
And it was different by only 3 ounces. But.
Which was more?
Okay, well, no, the live body.
Live person was heavier than a dead person?
And he believed that the 3 ounces was probably the soul. Now,
soul, that's a thing.
Now, of course, most people would say, whatever. I mean, of course, by our standards.
No, to a lot of people, has great meaning.
Right, but I'm saying, by our standards, they would probably do the test 100 times before.
100,000
yeah,
times.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, because you can really step it up with the computer now.
See, I don't
think
think
all kinds of new nuances that you haven't been had available. Yeah.
See, I don't think the greatest minds totally understand. They think they do, but I really don't believe they do. I think
is it beyond understanding? Maybe these are things that are that are beyond any effective, efficient, elementary understanding. You're talking about mysteries that will never be understood.
Well, I don't know that I believe.
We can just say they exist, they have effect, but we'll never be able to understand them because they're mysteries destined to remain a mystery, and that's the charm of it. Or the importance of it.
Well, I don't know that we'll never understand them. I think
that there's this concept of synergy, the thing about resonancy, something more than the sum of the parts of a maximum engaged system. Is a principle. Certainly it exists in the structure of the universe and so forth.
Right.
But from physics.
Yeah, but see, some of the greatest minds are even in conflict with that.
Yeah, well, that's
like
true.
For example,
there's a lot of differences
there's
of
a whole,
opinion.
there's a resurgence of people who believe that the world is flat. Of course, when I went to college, these kind of individuals would be crazy, just like in Galileo's time.
I don't understand why the Earth is flat. I mean, this thing is flat. I don't know.
Well, because of the technology that we have, we've never really seen the Earth actually rotating on its axis. And the whole idea that if you're in China and you're in America, that there's, supposedly it was when China was light, the U.S. is dark. But it's not so clear. I mean, there's a lot of myths.
Yeah, well, I think there's probably been predicting. Well, as far as we can tell, our species is about 200,000 years old. That's when we emerged out of Homo erectus. I think we came out of Homo erectus.
But there's a lot of
in a process of evolutionary process identified scientifically as is punctuated equilibrium when the new emerges out of the old in an evolutionary context, right? So that's got a lot of humanity's experience to be able to try to encompass in terms of the time we're in. And I don't know if there's probably been a lot of different kinds of things that have been asked by humanity. Cro-Magnon cavemen probably said, "What's it all about, Alfie?" kind of things. And they wonder about it. So they've come up with a lot of understandings of those kind of things. Much of them are scientific and can be validatable in a way. Increasingly, they can be validatable by
when you say
sensory capability to measure things and so forth, and mathematics and so forth. So we're coming now to be able to understand the things more, not just on faith or on something, but on scientific research.
Yeah, but what exactly is scientific? In other words,
fair enough.
Because really, our very basic principles of science, like evolution, they will tell you that at this point is no longer a theory. But the truth of the matter is, no two different species will breed together. As a matter of fact, when you get a donkey and you get a horse and you crossbreed them, they are sterile. They cannot have.
Well, in that case, it is, but I don't know if it's. Is it the case that there's no exchange
No.
between the species?
They cannot have a child.
Well, you're talking about people or something. I was
No,
thinking,
I'm talking about
well,
species.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah.
it takes a human being to start the process. They will not do it on their own.
Starts the process of what now?
In other words, in evolution,
Yeah.
they believe that one species had intercourse with another species to create a new species.
That I don't know how.
Well, that's not true.
Yeah. I was thinking of the means by which a new species emerges out of what had been before.
Right, but in order for that to happen, you have to have done it in like a petri dish or eugenics or something like that.
Well, they couldn't have done that when it was 200,000 years ago that humanity, our ancestor as a species, emerged out of a different species that had existed.
But see,
through a process of punctuated equilibrium is the way that changes.
Right.
It's understood now that, and that apparently it was about 200,000
yeah, but
years
you're
ago.
taking into
10,000 generations, more or less, right?
Right, but you're also taking into the opinion that primitive man was not intelligent. Okay, primitive man, their structures, like for example, the pyramid, and you take something like I can't even think. Then you have something like the Cavendish, which is in Scotland. You have, in England, Stonehenge.
Yeah.
Okay, these structures, okay, our buildings only last about 200 years.
Those are relatively recently, yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is we can't even have
those
buildings.
Those are works of engineering.
Right, but our buildings, we can't even have them stay up for more than 200 years without them disintegrating or falling apart. What is it? In other words, are we really evolved, or is it just our perception of what evolution is?
Well, that's an interesting question. I would submit that we are evolved.
Are we?
Yeah, I am in favor of the evolutionary process and the historical process of extended consciousness. I think we have a unique capability to extend our consciousness through tools and technology and create an environment other than in an Eden-like sense with the lot of most creatures to exist. In an interesting and extraordinary way.
Yeah, but see, civilization, the very meaning of civilization.
I think it means city dwelling.
But it's more than that.
Oh, is it? Yeah,
usually, art and music and everything surrounding it, is a reflection of how civilization is going. If we do that, if we look at in comparison somebody like Michelangelo or Da Vinci,
gods. I think they weren't people; they were gods.
But you don't believe in gods.
No,
but
anyway, gods in quotes.
Well, if you look at somebody like Michelangelo, Da Vinci,
amazing what came out of Italy, huh?
And you compare them to our 20th century artists like Pollock, Jason Pollock.
Yeah.
You're going to sit here and tell me that they evolved? Okay, if you look at somebody like Barbra Streisand, and then you look at somebody, and I mean it's a matter of taste.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you look at the music that is being produced now, where they don't even have lyrics, okay, you're going to tell me that that's progress, that's evolution?
You talking about Maria Callas? Did you say?
I never said Maria Callas.
Oh, who did you say?
I'm saying if you compare
Maria Callas. I was brought up on Maria
I'm saying
Callas.
If you look at the music being produced now as opposed to the music being produced in earlier times, I mean, if the arts is a comparison of where civilization is, then I would have to be in disagreement with you.
I think civilization by breakdown, means city dwelling, I think.
Right, but I mean...
So it's not going to happen out on the farm so much as it is in places like...
Yeah, but even if you compare that... That
shop you walked into that wasn't there. The shop that never was... There was a shop around the corner, but this shop was never ever there.
Right.
And that's more of a mystery than... you're still wrestling with that one, right?
Well, the point is, though, I'll bring it back. I think my experience was a spiritual experience.
Okay, that's getting into another realm.
And I don't know why it happened to us. Maybe there's something greater that I have to do. I don't know. I mean, from this experience, I did become very, very interested in history.
Yeah, right.
I wrote a play, as a matter of fact.
Did you really?
Yes,
yeah?
I have.
Was it something that could be performed, or was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it ever performed?
Not yet.
Not
I'm working
yet,
on that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, my interest in the history of New York is
That's all New York needs is another playwright.
possibly. Who knows?
No. I'm just joking
Right.
and everything like that. But that's a joke that a lot of it heard down in
Right.
West Village often,
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
No, well, all I'm saying is that I believe that there's a purpose, there's a reason, whatever it may be.
And you think there's a purpose to existence?
Yes, I do.
Of the universe.
Like
Yeah,
this is
okay,
not a
yeah.
coincidence.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, you met my friend Nick.
Yeah,
Now,
well, he
I know
did the
Nick-
Rancher book.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
But see, I believe that life is
and Jane Roberts.
Right.
Seth material.
Right.
Jane was a great friend of mine.
Right.
I didn't believe any of it, but she scared the daylights out of
Right.
me. Did you ever see her?
I have. I've
She's
read
sitting there-
everything.
She's sitting there. She's wonderful. And Bob Butts, was her
Yeah.
husband. I went there to visit, and I came, and I'm just sort of blah, blah, like a normal person is sort of
Right.
not testing this idea of spirituality or
Right.
anything like that. It's like a, and she's sitting in a rocking chair. She had a little arthritis, and she's sitting and she's talking like a lady. I'm talking like this. And all of a sudden in this room, all of a sudden there were these people sitting around.
Right.
Who were acolytes, like that. They're sitting around, and I was just there where they're taping and everything, way back, 1974.
Were you scared?
It scared the daylights out of me.
Right.
She came, and all of a sudden, she was in a rocking chair, and it all of a sudden came, and it was, good evening. Right. It was a deep, masculine voice that came out,
right.
and this was a person that was Seth. And she had the Seth Speaks, and she claims not to have been able to know when she was in the Seth state,
right.
and all of these
called
things. Seth Speaks,
clairvoyance.
Yeah, and Seth Speaks, all this, and she had a huge following, and I loved her. She was and Robert, her husband,
right.
and I was a dear friend of hers.
Right.
We exchanged things, but I was not taking into account the meaning of that as something spiritual.
Right.
I was just thinking that she was like another poet friend. I got a lot of poets friends and things like that aren't just normal.
Right. Right.
It was just something like that. You know what I mean? I didn't, but as a friend I did.
Right.
And other people that are doing that. Some of the poets and things like that, and a lot of people like that. But I don't. I've got a different take on things. I don't give it spiritual quality.
Yeah, well, see, I do.
I know. I know, and a lot of people do.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I gotta go pretty soon. All right.
Oh. Well, we're almost. Yeah, we got another couple minutes, a few minutes. Yeah.
No, but like I said, see, I like to believe that, reality is much more than this.
Yeah.
I like to believe that I have a purpose.
Yeah.
I like to believe that, material is not bad, but I like to believe that material is not it. Because I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
As an artist, as a poet.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I don't really want to, my poetry is to develop a person's feelings.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
On different levels. I do have poems that affect a person's head. They have to think about it, but
and this is
I want to move the feelings.
Yeah, right.
Okay? Music moves the feelings.
Right. Yeah.
Art moves the feelings.
And no matter what it is, there's this or that, and it certainly is an enriching part of the human experience, don't you think?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
that's what some of the most enriching things and fulfilling things that have been able to come up with in all of our meanderings around and
absolutely.
Everything. It very much should be guarded and paid attention to.
Right.
But what about the fact that people who are very materialistic oriented don't want to pay attention? They want to pay attention to facts. And they want things proven, and you got to have, you know what I mean?
Well, see, I think it's because, I believe there's a number of reasons why. Number one, I think when you're spiritual, okay, you don't have the need to control another person.
That's interesting. It's hard to be a control freak.
Right, because you're so concerned about your own well-being. In other words, spirituality, when a person is spiritual, okay,
that's
they want to
purposeful,
be, that's right, they want to be the best person that they can be.
You think
Okay?
so? That goes.
Oh, absolutely.
Does it go? You think
Yes.
always, right?
Yes, absolutely.
What about some people who are nasty when they're spiritual? Or the idea of people who are abnormally criminal in their behavior or manifestation.
Well, of course. I mean, we saw
claiming
that.
a higher order or something like that.
Right. Well, you know what? Everybody has their own way of looking at things.
Yeah.
And see, on a larger level,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
People, and I mean, this may be really wrong, some of the worst individuals that ever walked on the earth, okay?
Yeah.
As a consequence of their experience on the earth.
Got somewhere.
Things, right.
Yeah,
other things were able, exactly.
And things that led us down a path that is beneficial, right?
That's right.
And it's something we should not lose track
That's right.
of, yeah?
See,
Do you think we're losing track of that in the historical process? There was more...
well, yeah, I think we're getting a very strained version of history.
We are, yeah.
Yes, I think we're getting a very diluted version of history.
Diluted, right.
I think history is told by the victors.
Well, that's called realpolitik. Whoever's got the biggest club hits the other one on the head,
That's right.
and they take
I mean,
over.
I'm
That's
sure.
power.
I mean, I'm sure if
Too
you
much?
told,
Yeah.
I'm sure if you told a story about the American Indians, if you told the story about the American Indians, and let's just say on the panel you had 5 people, you had the Indians, you had the white man, you had the black man, and you had the Asian man. I guarantee you, your version of that same history would be very, very different.
Would that apply to gender?
Anything.
Would that apply to gender, men and women? You think they see it
Anything.
different?
Yes,
Do you
absolutely.
think the women ought to be given more credit than they have been
Oh,
by the
absolutely.
men? The men have the big clubs and they hit them on the bed
Absolutely.
and they think, I'm the leader.
Absolutely.
But I think there's some things that could come from the feminine principle, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a feminist
You
all
are.
the way.
You're,
all the way,
you're
yes.
a female.
I am a female, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And I'm very happy to be
Yeah,
a
you are. Yeah.
Right.
Wouldn't you rather be a man?
No, I would not.
A big, strong man?
Yeah,
No?
but no.
No?
And I mean, I'm not saying that men are bad either, okay? But I think that there's
They
a very...
They've done a lot of bad things.
Well,
I think men do
Right.
bad things more than
Yeah,
ladies.
but there's good and
the
bad of everything.
masculine principle does more bad than the feminine principle. I would
no.
submit.
See, I don't know if I
would
agree
think
with
so,
that
maybe.
either.
Well,
because I think
spell
that...
it out. It's a big
okay,
issue.
I think that
could be
men...
east-west or
See, I
something.
think men and women are confused. I think that men and women are confused in that, you know, we're told to act a certain way, to be a certain way, but that doesn't mean male or female. That's just what we've been told.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
In other words,
Yeah.
I think men can be very gentle. I think women can be very gentle. I think men can be very violent. I think women can be very, very violent. I think, you know, everything is relative. I mean, I think that human beings are more similar than they are different. But see,
You mean
in our culture...
among themselves? I mean, mixing everybody. You
Yeah.
mean. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that we choose to focus on our differences rather than what is the same about us.
Also, and my difference is better than your
Right.
difference, you know?
Right,
Yeah, and that's
exactly.
what's...
Power
it is.
struggles.
And it's a power structure that is the basis of the political structuring and the social structuring
Right.
of the unit of
Right.
called humanity.
I mean, my
I think
biggest...
it's changing, though. Do you think it's any... Are you,
I don't think it's ever going to change.
You don't think it is?
No, I think
it
it's
is.
the human condition. Nope. I think
No, but
if you master one thing, there'll be another thing to take its place.
Well,
There's always something to have angst about.
you think so?
Yeah, I
huh?
think that's the human condition.
Well, we've been in it again, like about 10,000 generations. That's a lot. That's a lot of time.
No, it goes even way before
And
that.
you don't think it's interesting that we get at a point with all this power that we extend, all this masculine power and whatnot, and my bomb's bigger than your bomb, and I can
but do you really
hit you
think-
on the head before
Yeah,
you
but
hit
do you
me.
really think-
And I'm in charge of this place, and I've got the right idea, and everything. And the weapons that have
Yeah,
been
but do you
developed to
think that-
enforce that are now species lethal.
Right. But do
Apparently.
you really believe that if women were in control of the world, that it would be any different? Because it
I
would
think
not.
it would. I
no,
do.
sure it would not. It would not be any different.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't
No.
think so?
I don't.
Talk about that. I think the
No.
feminine principle
I mean,
is much
I
more
think in
benign
our mind...
and maybe something we could adhere to much more directly. I think we should give the women much more of a say on the operation of things than they've been given by these guys, because it's been forced. Whoever's got the club hits the guy.
No,
and
but
it's
I
called
think by
realpolitik.
Yeah, but
and
if
I got
you-
a bigger bomb than you've got.
Yeah,
and
but see, I
everything.
don't know if I believe that. I
No.
don't believe that, you know, if a woman becomes president, then everything is going to be resolved and everything is going to be perfect.
Yeah, but she has to be a president within a thing that's all been constructed by a bunch of male idea and thinking
Yeah, but-
and competition. It's been
Yeah,
a
but-
male thing.
Yeah,
more
but
than
it's
a
much
female.
bigger than that, though. It's much bigger than that.
Are you optimistic or pessimistic? Let's just say
I'm
for
a realist.
No, well, okay, I didn't ask you
I'm
that.
a realist.
I didn't ask you that. I said, are you optimistic, pessimistic for the human prospect
I'm
in
a
the
realist.
time ahead? No, but that I loved. Who was it? Abby Hoffman or something?
Oh, look who
the
we
realist.
proclaim.
Who
I mean,
wrote the realist?
who the hell could do
that? Great Arthur. That great.
Oh my God.
Who was the realist guy? That
Yeah, but
did it?
how can you
he
even?
was wonderful.
Yeah, but how can you even quote somebody like Abby Hoffman?
Abby Hoffman.
I mean, Abby Hoffman.
Dear friend of mine.
In order to live, in order to just live day to day, he had to be completely drugged up, 99% of the time. I don't want somebody like him. I don't want to be quoted by somebody like that.
Or who's the guy that always
I think it's harder. I think it's harder to live day by day, having a job, taking care of a family.
Oh, that sucks.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think we're destined to have all those jobs and everything be taken over by extended technology, and I think we're going to be able to have productive capability.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's coming. They're going to undercut labor's contribution to production.
I'm not afraid of that. I don't think that'll
You're not
ever
afraid
happen.
of that?
No, I'm not. You know why?
Why?
I want to tell you something.
Tell me something.
That's
a big
the
issue.
robot is as the robot is as adequate as the person who's running it. Okay? There's always going to be someone who has to take care of the robot. Okay? And if it comes to the point where the robot takes care of the human being, okay, which I don't believe that's going to happen. And everybody's saying it does. Like, for example, computer, okay?
It's a big issue confronting
No, but I don't
mankind
believe
right
that.
now.
I think that's just fear tactics. Okay, I'll give you an example.
Okay, give me an example.
They always say that a computer, okay, is going to take over the human mind.
Not over the human mind.
Okay,
It's going to
no,
take over.
it's not. The
The
only thing a computer is a sophisticated camera, tape recorder, okay, and film. Okay, that's all it is. It's all the major inventions of our time in one particular product.
Yeah, but it's self-reflective and it can do things. And I think it's a hope of the world, really, to take it over. And most of the things people have to do can be done better by robotized processes. I think they'll be having self-driving cars and all that kind of stuff coming. And I think it's inevitable. And they're going to be able to liberate the people.
We're just reinventing the wheel. If you want to know something, cyberspace and like, robots.
Yeah.
Robots were created by Tesla.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the first robot was actually done by Michelangelo.
Really?
Michelangelo, yes, he did.
I think that's, and one of the problems, you've got problems in this universe. One of the problems is we don't have unlimited time.
True.
And we've run out of time for this program. That's really a problem. Now, that's a serious problem for our producers.
Well,
we have a little bit of time left, but you understand, that's a serious problem when you run out of time.
I just
when you got so many interesting things to say.
Yeah.
You ought to become a producer over here and become a producer of a program. You get it out into multimedia and spread the word.
Let me know.
Instead of reading all these people, you should become the people that they're reading you.
Well, let me know.
And become a major producer and contribute to this society.
Give me a job.
All right. Thanks, honey.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Your pleasure. To have the spirit of Lorraine.
That's right.
Gibney. Is that it?
Yes, that's right.
I got
you
it.
got
it. I'm brilliant. Gibney. Okay. It's not Gimme.
No,
not Gimme. That's a thing in golf.
Well,
Gibney. Okay. Thank you for viewing. Sit down, please.
Okay.
One more minute. Thank you. Thank you, darling. It's
Thank
so
you.
good to meet you. Really
It's been
good.
my pleasure.
Tune in. We'll be coming back again tomorrow. That's it. So thanks again, Lorraine.
Thank you.
Now you got to get down.